In this video, we're going to walk through problems number 18, 21, and 26 from the worksheet that deals with easing into solving linear equations. Let's do 18. 4d minus 6 equals 10 plus 2d. I see I've got a d on both sides, so I need to decide, do I want the d on the right or the left when I'm all finished? And I'm going to pick the larger number here. I'm going to pick the 4d, so I want the d on the left. In other words, I want to end up with d equals, and then some number here. Well, looking at this, if I'm going to have the letters on the left, the variables, then that 2d, that's a trespasser, right? That's a letter on the number side, and I can't have that. So I'm going to get rid of it by doing the opposite. It's a plus 2d, so I'm going to subtract 2d. Now, to make these things stay equal, whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other. So I'll subtract 2d from the other side. Now we'll write it again and clean it up. 4d minus 2d, that's 2d, minus 6. The 10 we didn't mess with. And the 2d minus 2d, that's gone, so that's what I wanted. But now the 6 is a trespasser on the left-hand side, right? The left is the letter side, so to get rid of him, I'll do the opposite. Same thing to both sides, remember? So now 2d minus 6 and plus 6, that's 0. We can leave that out. And on the right side, 10 plus 6 is 16. Now I'm almost there. But remember, there's a 1 in front of this d that we don't usually write. So I want to get from a 2d to a 1d. We use that rule about any number divided by itself is 1. So I'm going to divide this by itself, and in this case, itself is 2. Whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other. So now my 1d equals 16 divided by 2 is 8. d is equal to 8. Number 21. Negative 20 equals negative 4x minus 6x. Well, I think in class we did a problem where we could add two numbers together when they were on the same side of the equal sign. To simplify, we can do the same thing with letters. So the negative 4x and negative 6x, I can make that negative 10x. And on the left, I'm not going to do anything with that yet. All right, now negative 10x, again, where am I headed with this? The letters on the left, so I want to end up with x equals and then some number on the left side. Well, I don't want negative 10x, so again, I'll use the rule about any number divided by itself gives me 1. So I'm going to divide this by itself, and in this case, itself happens to be a negative 10. What I do to one side, I have to do to the other. So now I get my 1x, and on the left, negative 20 divided by negative 10 is a positive 2. Done. All right, the last one, p minus 1 equals 5p plus 3p minus 8. Remember when we did this in class, we had two numbers and we added them together. So just like in number 21 where we combined the two x's, we can do that with the p's here. So I'm going to leave everything alone as is, except I'm going to add the 5p and 3p. Then I'll have 8p, and I only have a single letter on that side, minus 8. All right, now I've got a p on the left and a p on the right, so I got to decide what I want. And again, I'm going to pick the larger one. So I want the p to be on the right when I'm all done. So it says p equals. That means the p on the left is now a trespasser, right? He's a letter on the number side. So to get rid of him, I'll do the opposite. It's a positive p. When there's no sign, it's positive. And I'll subtract p from the right side. So now we'll clean it up a little bit. P minus p is 0. That's what I wanted. 8p minus p is 7p. And I'll keep the minus 8. Haven't done a touch with that. All right, so the left side just has number. That's good. But the right side, I've got that minus 8, and the right is the letter side. So I need to get rid of the 8. Again, I'll do the opposite. Same thing on the other side to keep them equal. Negative 1 and positive 8 is a positive 7. 7p, we haven't messed with that yet. Negative 8 and positive 8, that's gone. So now I don't want 7p, I want 1p. So I'm going to use the rule again, any number divided by itself gives me 1. So I divide that by itself, divide this one by 7, so they stay equal. My 7 minus 7 is 1, that's what I want, or 7 divided by 7 is 1. And on the other side, it's also 1. So p is equal to 1, and we're done.